Wonderful. We've actually had a question in from the chat. It said, to what degree did any of you regulate your self-expression, your clothing, your jewelry, your demeanor abroad for your safety and or comfort? Joseph, I think you briefly touched on this earlier. Do you mind kind of maybe expanding?
Yeah, definitely. So just going to Spain or any like country, nightlife and just like the community is going to be a big thing. Well, at least it was for me. So it was really interesting going to some places and in Madrid, it was different than like Sevilla. Like I would go out in Madrid and they would say, you can't get in because you are wearing a short sleeve t-shirt or you're wearing a tank top. And so very much it was like I adapted when it was sort of like I had to. When I would go to places like Morocco, of course, I was like very more conservative than I usually am. But in Spain, like was usually pretty free to dress how I wanted and pretty much like act how I usually do. But I think it was only when I was traveling other places that I wasn't too familiar with that I would sort of, you know, just change how I usually am. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I would say that it's interesting because for me, I felt like in Spain, even though like queerness, in my opinion, is generally accepted in Spain, it's still a lot more noticed, if that makes sense. So, I feel like that, if I were like a certain outfit or something necessarily in the US, people wouldn't necessarily make an association like with queerness. But if I were to wear it in Madrid, it wouldn't be anything negative as like an observation, but it would still just be more apparent that would be in the US. And then sometimes my host mother would comment on a few things that I thought were kind of funny, just for like a funny tidbit. Once, so I was living with a roommate, and she told my roommate that she thought it was very like interesting and natural that I don't shave my armpits. And so she just thought, she was like, oh, that's so like, Serena just seems like such like a free flowing type person. Like that's, nothing inherently negative, but sort of just like a lot more noticed than I feel like it would be, at least like, here in DC too in particular.